to another summer campaign video with me, Jack, and you,
Will.
Yes, well
in
done.
The sunshine.
Remembered his own name. It is sunny. We are on our second episode, and yeah, it feels like it's pretty summery out there. So, if you don't know what the summer campaign is about, go back a week, scroll down, and there'll be lots there to talk to you about. But we are going to focus in specifically on one topic this week, and it is all about resource management, I guess, for our homeless friends.
Yeah.
So essentially, Will, describe what you were saying to me earlier.
What we were discussing is that for most of us, when the hot weather comes on, we take clothes off. Our friends don't have the luxury of that because they don't have anywhere to store items. So if you're looking at somebody or you see somebody and you're wondering why on earth they're wearing every single garment they possess, it's because they can't put it down anywhere. And that presents a massive problem in terms of heating up, core heat and all the rest of it. And it was that we really wanted to explore, because people often look at it and go, well, why people don't appropriately dress?
Yeah.
They can't.
And what you'll notice, or what you'll realise if you watch these summer campaign videos throughout the summer or over the next few weeks, is that the problems stack on top of each other. A lot of what we're about to say will overlap with other things that we're going to say. And we'll try and keep them brief, so if you watch them all over the next few weeks and months, it will make sense if you watch them all together. So the problem with the summer is you've got cold nights, especially if it's a not cloudy day. You get a lovely, lovely sunny day. There's no cloud to keep the heat in, so the night is freezing. So you've got to, as a homeless person, wrap up warm.
Yeah.
You've got to get inside that sleeping bag that you've been carrying around all day.
Yeah.
So you've got your warm clothes on, and like you say, you've got no wardrobe if you're homeless.
Yeah.
So if anything gets dirty, that's it.
Yeah.
So resource management is very, very difficult for our homeless individuals, which is why we go through a lot of donations throughout the year, but it's good to dive into why that happens. So, homeless people, they don't want shorts, really, do they?
No. I mean, the thing is that they you're right, they want a range of clothing that has the flexibility of being able to either be lost and discarded so it doesn't matter, which is why replicating the same clothes request is something that we're very familiar with. So it's no good saying to somebody, well, we gave you a coat last week. And sometimes people get a bit short in terms of how people respond to that. They're not being unkind, it's just the reality of it. So the important thing is, it quite often is layers. And so I think what we need to remind people is that if you come across a stack of clothes somewhere, or a stack of goods that belong to somebody clearly, they've been left there on purpose. What that tells you is that somebody's going to be back to get them. So the worst thing you could do is pick them all up and decide that they're either going to move them or discard them. It's much better if we do something about it. So we're going to talk about how to identify that, what authorities to speak to. But I'm just very conscious that some of our friends do leave their clothes in a place because it literally gets too hot.
Yeah.
And that's another aspect of the complications of resource.
Well, this is where we run into, and I think it's worth talking about those every week, about who to refer people to. This is where we run into where our lives kind of run into our friends' lives around homelessness. If there is a ugly pile of clothes or a bag, it looks scruffy on the street, and that does rub some people up the wrong way, Will, and we get into a lot of conversations around how to combat that.
Yeah.
And there are obviously people who say, wow, your house of bread, you've got a cafe, why don't you have lockers for people to store stuff in? That comes with a whole world of issues itself, doesn't it?
Lost keys amongst them, security issues. Some of the things that you've got to be alert to as well is the paraphernalia that might be associated with those clothes and those packages. So going in and checking out for ID and so is not a good thing to do. And I guess we know that. What we're saying is, always try and do something about it in terms of advising somebody or telling somebody about it, because there's no point in saying, like they do with alarms going off, people say, oh, I'm not going to report it because somebody else will have heard it. It doesn't matter to the authorities, to be honest, how many times people log a problem. The fact is there is a problem and people log it. So it is important that we identify that.
So you're walking down the street and you see a rucksack, you see a pile of clothes. What can you do as a concerned citizen? What can we do?
Well, there's a very, very good app called Street Scene, which you can download onto a smartphone, and you just tap into it. You can do it anonymously. It just asks for where you are, a postcode, and what you're actually seeing. So if you see somebody, and sometimes you don't want to interact with them, and we absolutely get that, you can report, person, High Street, Stafford, and put the postcode in. And it's the same with any items as well. Just put personal possessions, and when we say abandoned, they'll be hidden behind something or pushed somewhere, and that's relevant because that app connects with the Borough Council in the local area. So that's a particularly good app because it connects with the Borough Council in the particular area, and then they can map it, and then somebody can be reported, whether it's somebody who's cleaning the streets on Street Scene or local PCSO, or maybe a police officer who's doing a routine check. It's just another way of identifying, and also less alarming for that person to go back to discover all their things have gone, because that's not helpful.
Well, and that's where we come in with your donations that you donate to us. We can give out supplies again for folk that have lost it or whatever, but you'll notice that a lot of the advice we're giving now is quite similar to our winter campaign, Will, and as we go on you'll notice how some of the issues overlap with the winter, and again it is just as difficult to be homeless in the summer months.
There's no good time to be homeless. So there are amounts of
camping. It's like camping. Well, where do you put your tent? If you're staying in a tent, where do you put it? Do you carry it around all day? You're going to overheat if you're carrying all that around. And we'll get into dehydration and overheating in next week or another week's video.
I think what we're saying is there's some practical advice in terms of, that's why a lot of people who you see rough sleeping or not sustainably housed seem to be wearing a lot of clothes. So you can sort of spot that. And what we're saying is, if you see that, or you're aware of that, or you're seeing evidence of that, rather than just go past it, get involved, do something about it. We've talked endlessly about being informed about a problem that is a growing problem in the United Kingdom. It's no different in Stafford as it is to Birmingham or Manchester. It's a problem, and I think everybody gets that. And often when people say, there's nothing I can do, actually you can do it. We're giving you some ideas now.
You can let Street Scene know, you can let us know, you can contact the police on Facebook. There's lots of stuff you can do, and like Will said earlier, don't think, my life, somebody has 100 people have already said this, I'm going to be annoying. Don't worry, it's really easy to say, thank you, that's great, we're looking into it. Doesn't bother us, it won't bother anybody else. And a lot of people, genuinely, it will make you feel better, and it will be doing a good thing. So just get a bit more savvy and a bit more alert, and that would be a good thing, because you're helping them, helping us, helping them. We're filling there. We didn't need to. We probably could finish 5 minutes ago. Right, thank you, Will. Some decent stuff
in the sunshine
about there. Inside in the sunshine. Maybe we'll venture out into the outside. Into the outside. Frozen joke. Right, thank you very much for watching. As always, don't forget to like and share these videos. They are for everybody. It's not Stafford specific. If you want to know more about House of Bread, what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, what's going on, check out Hob News. That's always interesting. But until next time, that's enough from us.
Indeed.
Enjoy the rest of whatever you are doing. Goodbye.
Take care.